Hello, SOS.
I feel so alone. She was so young. She was my best friend. All I want is to see her again.
Many times I'm left wondering or just hoping that, okay, I just hope they're okay or they will call back again. Yeah, so that's the uncertainty that comes with this job.
Samaritans of Singapore is a non-profit organisation and the only suicide prevention centre in Singapore who offers a 24-hour hotline. While some of those operating the hotline are staff members at SOS, others are trained volunteers. Vari, the team lead for the Care Tech service, shared with us about her journey in this line of work. Her and her team manages the Care Tech service and the hotline, and also liaises very closely with the volunteers. During their shifts, they are there to support the volunteers as well as take calls and handle the Care Text service.
I think it was when I was younger, like in secondary school, I had a youth worker that was attached to us, and I kind of find what they were doing very inspiring. So that got me into wanting to go into this sector, and that resonated with me personally because I had someone in my family who came close to ending their life also.
While the number of reported suicides have decreased by 16.3% from 2020 to 2021, SOS had seen an 89.9% increase in the number of clients across their various services. There was a spike in the number of calls received by SOS amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, with many mental health services being interrupted. SOS launched CareText in order to combat this issue, a text messaging service to provide support. Even after the peak of the pandemic, 56% of the CareText clients for SOS were suicidal or expressed suicide ideation.
Difficult calls is something that's very common in our daily life, like day to day, and it's something that we have to tackle because not everyone is going to be able to willingly share their deepest things that's been bothering them. So that's something that comes with the job. So usually I start off by just letting them know that I'm here, this is a non-judgmental space and I'm here to listen, and just giving them the time they need to open up.
According to Samaritans of Singapore's annual report for financial year 2021 to 2022, 40% of the clients had problems regarding psychological distress, 24% had social problems, and 19% had relationship problems.
Every call has its own backstory and experience that comes with it. It's just basically what is it that they want to share with me.
Despite the decrease in the overall number of suicides in Singapore, it is still a prevailing issue amongst youths. From 2020 to 2021, there was a 23.3% increase in suicides amongst youths. Suicide was the fourth leading cause of death amongst 15 to 25-year-olds in 2019. We spoke to a suicide survivor who shared about his experience dealing with suicide. He had struggled with his mental health since a young age, ever since his parents had passed on.
Went on for as long as I can remember to want to end it all. But along the way, it sort of got to a point where I'm just too tired, even though I'm at the age of just jumping off. I went to the rooftop garden and then I sat on the ledge for a good half an hour to 1 hour during that day, because that day was I was really at my lowest because of what happened in my secondary school, where I was being truthful and honest with my school counselor, but my trust was betrayed when what I told him was not between me and him, but instead it involved other people of my family members.
Confidentiality is something that is very important in this job, so I hold that very close to heart. As much as it gets difficult, I know it comes with the job, and I've learned to be okay with it. So because being in this organization and also with the clients that we are talking to, it's not something that you can just talk to your friends and family about, So I rely a lot on my team because you only can talk to them about what you've gone through. Yeah, so my team is my support system. So usually they are there to like, if I have a difficult call, they'll be like, are you okay? How was it for you? And there are times that we also do debrief for each other in cases where we felt the conversation or the call was a bit more harder for us to manage. And we try to work on how can we better support similar calls in the future.
Taking these calls often do take a toll on the hotline operators themselves. Hotline operators have to be able to take distress calls without allowing it to personally affect them. Oftentimes, calls may come in continuously and the hotline operators may not be able to catch a break.
This call left a very big impression because, yes, the caller called, then when I answered, they were crying and hyperventilating. Then I was kind of taken aback. So I went into first wanting to assess their safety. I asked the caller, where are you right now? And the caller replied, I'm on the ledge. Then it took almost an hour to get the caller to just come down from the ledge. Yeah, so the caller came off the ledge, eventually asked me to, can you stay on the line until I reach home safely? That kind of stayed with me very long. Until today, it still does, because I know I've saved someone's life. There are certain calls that get difficult and makes me wonder, have I done everything I can? What else could I have done more? Or what else could I have said? Yeah, so these are things that it does affect me, and I try to always not let it affect me, but it's hard. But it's something that at the end of the day I always ask myself, have I done everything I can for that caller? And if I have done, then that's good enough for me.
With the mental health stigma in Singapore, many people do not see the importance of taking care of their mental well-being. Those who are suffering from mental health conditions often do not seek the help that they need. Fortunately, more efforts have been made to help encourage those struggling with their mental health to seek help and promote the importance of mental wellness. Various mental wellness campaigns and mental health help resources have been made to provide Singaporeans with more accessible mental health services. In order to ensure the mental well-being of the hotline operators, many of them carry out their own rituals to de-stress after a hard day.
Usually after work, I go home, I play with my dogs. They're also the one that I get to crash out with because they can't tell anyone. So bring them for walks, and then there are times that I also do my nano blogs. These are things that I do to de-stress or kind of clear my mind and know that I'm surrounded by like-minded people who are here they have the passion to want to support people who are in crisis and be there to give a listening ear.
The community that Vari has gained since working for SOS is something that she is grateful for. Having an available support system is important, especially for those who are struggling with their mental health. Sometimes, having someone to listen to your problems and validate your feelings is something that could go a long way.
What I would tell people who are going through difficult times in their life is that it can get better. As much as the grass is greener on the other side, look for your own green in your side of the grass, because you can't change your situation, you can only change how you react to it. So the best way is to just forge forward. Even if you have these suicidal thoughts, you're not a problem at all. You're going through something and it's totally valid, and you need to understand that that is life in itself.
I think if you do have someone that you notice that's out of their norm, check in on them, just in your own ways, just check in on them. How are they doing? You can just ask them, how are you? Sometimes that could go a long way. For your family and friends, if you, do let them know that if there is something, you are there for them. And if it comes to a point, then, encourage them to seek help.